people not only in Niger State but also.
Still a chance for Ian Robin. It's
Good day. Thanks for joining the Gallery TV News Update at all. I am Oluwatomi Oberdi. The news headlines. Kano explosion. Buhari condoles with victims' families. Lockdown in Southeast states over Nnamdi Kanu. NDLEA arraigns Catholic knight brother for possession of 2.1 kilogram heroin. 80 billion naira fraud. AFCC uncovers 17 properties linked to Accountant General. On business news, federal government approves 169 billion 72 million naira private sector investment in roads. On sports news, Nigeria qualified for 2023 African Under-20 Cup of Nations. On entertainment news, Tiwa Savage gets special award in London. On foreign news, Singapore denies entry to extremist Indonesian preacher. Now to the news in details. Kano explosion, Buhari condoles with victims' families. The President, Major General Muhammadu Buhari, retired on Wednesday, condoled with families of the 9 persons who lost their lives in a gas explosion that rocked the Sabon-Gari area of Kano State. This is as he directed the relevant officials to provide adequate treatment for the injured persons who are undergoing treatment. Buhari's condolence message is contained in a statement signed on Tuesday by Senior Special Assistant on Media and Publicity, Garba Shehu. He says President Buhari offers condolences over deaths of 9 in Kano explosion. The President said the gas explosion in Kano is very sad and his deepest condolences to the families of those who lost their lives. Buhari commended the immediate steps taken in response to the incident by the agencies of the state government, National Emergency Management Authority (NEMA), the ministry, police, and other agencies of the federal government. Lockdown in Southeast states over Nnamdi Kanu. The Southeast was grounded yesterday as the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, Nnamdi Kanu, was denied bail by the Federal High Court in Abuja. IPOB had announced a sit-at-home in solidarity with its leader, and there was almost total compliance. But it was not without the incident. While the case was ongoing in Abuja, suspected IPOB members attacked a truck, killing at least 1 person in Delta. But IPOB said its members were responsible for the attacks in the Southeast and urged the region and security agencies to fish out the perpetrators. It denied enforcing the Monday sit-at-home that had crippling the region's economy. Kanu, who has been charged for an alleged treasonable felony, had been applied for bail. Ruling yesterday, Justice Binta Nyako held that the defender did not deserve to be granted bail the second time, having abused the one. The judge said until the issue of absence of the defendant for his trial, with all the bail conditions breached, is determined the instant application of the defendant for bail would at best be premature and it is refused. However, the defendant is at liberty to rifle the application. The judge noted that the substantial progress had not been made in trial because of many intercalatory applications filed since commencement in 2015. According to her, over 19 such applications have been filed by parties. The judge asked parties to allow the case to proceed to trial to enable the charge to be determined one way or the other. Justice Nyako struck out the amended charge. Justice Nyako said the court had been judicial notice of the amended charge and that trial could not continue on the previous charge. Following the judge's observation, Castaway applied to withdraw the amendment charge, following which the judge struck it out. Further hearing in the case has been adjourned till May 26th. Still on the news, NDLEA arraigns Catholic knight brother for possession of 2.1 kilogram heroin. The National Drug Law Enforcement Agency on Wednesday arraigned Sir Basil Okafor, a knight of the Roman Catholic Church, and his cousin Edwin Uzuchukwu before the Federal High Court. The two brothers were leveled with charges bordering on conspiracies, possession of 2.16 kilograms of heroin, and frustrating of the course of justice. According to the NDLEA, the suspects were arrested on March 28, 2022 at number 26 Akomole Street, Isolo Okota area of Lagos. The prosecutor, Mr. Umar Hussein, informed Justice Daniel Siago that the defendants were found in unlawful possession of the prohibited drug and also discovered to be distributing same. The council also alleged that Okafor threw his iPhone 7 containing a SIM card into a water closet in a bid to obstruct the operations of the NDLEA officials in the course of his arrest. Hussein said the offences committed by the two brothers were prohibited under sections 14B, 24(1)A and 49 of the NDLEA Act 2004. The said offences are also punishable under section 22A and section 22B of the Act. After reading the charges, the defendant pleaded not guilty. The defendant counsels, Mr. Benson in Dakar, prayed the court to grant his client's bail, appealing that one of the defendants, Sal Kafo, is a knight of a Catholic church. Justice Osiaga granted the two defendants bail in the sum of 2 million naira each, with one surety in like sum. He, however, remanded them in the NDLEA custody until their bail terms have been perfected. The court adjourned the case till October 5 to open trial against the defendants. 80 billion naira fraud. EFCC uncovers 17 properties linked to Accountant General. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commissions has traced at least 17 properties to the Accountant General of the Federation, Ahmed Idris. This is just as the Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning, Zainab Ahmed, suspended Idris, who is currently being investigated for fraud to the tune of 80 billion naira. An official of the EFCC who wished to remain anonymous said the properties traced to Idris are located in Kano, Lagos, Abuja, Dubai and London. He, however, said preliminary investigations showed that the nation's chief accountant allegedly used proxies to buy some of these properties. The commission would therefore need to invite some of the proxies of the Accountant General. The detective added that from all indications, these properties were purchased while Idris was in office and did not declare them before the Code of Conduct Bureau as stipulated by law. He added about 17 houses in London, Lagos, Kano, Abuja and Dubai have been traced to him. In Abuja, some of the houses are located in service estates. The EFCC added in a statement on Monday announced the arrest of the Accountant General for fraud to the tune of 80 billion naira. It was then that Idris came under scrutiny last year following allegations that he offered huge sums of money to a family in order to secure the marriage of their 16-year-old daughter. Also, the Accountant General had in 2021 launched Gezawa Commodity Market and Exchange Limited, which he had openly admitted to owning. An EFCC official said the legal department was already getting an order to remand the Accountant General and get an interim forfeiture of some of his properties pending the completion of investigations. Meanwhile, the federal government on Wednesday announced the suspension of the Accountant General in order to allow for a seamless investigation. In a letter conveying Idris' suspension, the Minister of Finance warned the embattled public official not to visit the office at any time, adding that the suspension was in line with the public service rules. Now on business news. Federal government approves 169.72BN naira private sector investments in roads. The Federal Executive Council on Wednesday approved 169 billion naira and 70 million private sector investments for at least 4 road infrastructures through the government's tax credit scheme. The roads included 234-kilometer stretch from Bali to Sheti through Jashaka to Gemu in Taraba State at the sum of 95,232,470,010 naira. The second road, which is also a tax credit scheme, consists of 3 roads worth 74,486,577,050 naira. The Minister of Works and Housing, Babatunde Fashola, disclosed this to the State House correspondents at the end of the council meeting presided over by the President Major General Muhammad Buhari, retired, at the Presidential Villa, Abuja on Wednesday. Fashola noted that the scheme was initiated in 2019 through Executive Order 7 signed by the President, saying the arrangement allowed private sector players to finance public infrastructure instead of paying taxes and then offset it over time using this credit tax. For the 234-kilometer road in Taraba costing 95 billion 230 million naira, Fashola said a 20 billion naira on the NNPC tax credit scheme will be disbursed to begin the project soonest. The two main memoranda presented to the Council relate to the uptake by the private sector in response to the tax credit program, which we initiated in 2019 by President signing of Executive Order 7 to allow private sector finance public infrastructure in lieu of tax and then to offset it over time using tax credits. On sports, Nigeria qualified for 2023 Under-20 Cup of Nations. Nigeria's Under-20 boys, Flying Eagles, overpowered Fit Fighting Ivory Coast in an explosive semi-final match to reach the final of the ongoing WAFU B Under-20 Championship in Niamey. The late Tuesday night match 2-1 victory not only gave them a ticket to Saturday's final match, but also came a ticket to next year's African Under-20 Cup of Nations scheduled for Egypt, NFF said in a statement on Wednesday. Ubiquitous midfielder Daniel Zaga put Nigeria in front after only 5 minutes when he cleverly escaped the attention of the Ivorian defenders to nod in a well-weighted pull-out. The 7-time African champions then launched onslaught after onslaught on the Ivorian goal, but failed to add to the tally before the Ivorians equalized just before halftime from an intelligently taken free kick at the edge of the Nigerians' 18-yard box. Neither team could find another goal to gain upper hand before the end of the regulation time inside the State General Senie Kunche, and the game went into extra time. Forward Ibrahim Yaha got the winner for Nigeria in the 111th minute of play when he tucked in from the penalty spot to make it 2-1. Nigeria will square up against neighbors Benin Republic in Saturday's final. On entertainment, Tiwa Savage gets special award in London. Music star Tiwa Savage has been honored with a special recognition award at the Women for Africa Awards in London. Savage, who is on a US tour, was honored with the award in recognition of her successful music career. Though absent at the award night, Savage commended the organizers of the award in a thank you speech rendered through a video. In her speech, Savage dedicated the award to women who are pulling their weight in Nigeria and Africa as a whole. Savage bagged the award alongside other female professionals from different walks of life. The 8th edition of the award ceremony had actress Yvonne Jegede in attendance. Other women in attendance include Dr. Shola Mos-Chubabemo, Oni Ajiwo, Lara Oyeshoya, Teresa Wusu Partner, Adeola Onosoya, Faye Shayo, Adeyemi, and Juliana Olayinka of Channels, Professor Karo Makaka, and Dr. Gillian Lakareba. Founders of Women for Africa, Sam and Tola Onibanjo, said newsmen that it's important for Africans and women to celebrate and write their own narrative for the world to see. Over 80 women ranging from arts, technology, and healthcare sectors were awarded and celebrated for their relentless efforts to continually keep African flags flying. Some previous recipients of the Women for Africa include Mrs. Aisha Buhari, Mrs. Oluwatoyin Sani, Ambassador Nimi Akenkugbe, Dr. Joe Oke Odumaki, Senator Daisy Danjima, Honorable Abike Dabiri Erewa, amongst others. Lastly, on foreign news, Singapore denies entry to extremist Indonesian preacher. A prominent Muslim preacher from Indonesia has been denied entry to Singapore over extremist teachings, officials said, sparking criticism from a top Islamic body in its homeland. Singapore is majorly ethnic Chinese but also home to several minority groups, including Muslims, and authorities take a hard line against anyone they believe could inflame tensions between different communities. Abdul Somad Babutara arrived in Singapore on Monday along with 6 travel companions on a ferry from the neighboring Indonesian island of Batam. But the group was denied entry after officials interviewed Somad and sent back to Batam on the same day. Somad has been known to preach extremist and segregationist teachings which are unacceptable in Singapore's multiracial and multi-religious society, the Interior Ministry said in a statement last Tuesday. Somad sought to legitimize suicide bombings in his preachings and also publicly referred to non-Muslims as infidels, the ministry said. While Somad had attempted to enter Singapore similarly for a social visit, the Singapore government takes a serious view of any persons who advocates violence and or expose extremist and segregationist teachings. Somad, who has a large social media following in Indonesia, the world's most populous Muslim majority country, said on YouTube that officials gave him no explanations as to why he was denied entry. Indonesia's Ulema Council, the country's top Muslim clerical body, reacted angrily to the incident. The Indonesian embassy in Singapore has also contacted the city-state's foreign ministry to seek further details. That is it on the news update at 12. I am Oluwatomi Owoberedi. Do follow us for more and enjoy the rest of your day.
The life of people not only in Niger State, but also
Still a chance for Iron Robin. It's
fever in Taraba due to lack of specific dialysis machine.
Proposed by the federal government to finance the deficit in the 2021 budget by